right, welcome back. We are doing more assemblies. If you have not watched the first video on assemblies on how to place components, go ahead and stop this video right now because you are going to be really lost. So go back to earlier in the assignments to step 1. Hopefully you've answered the questions in step 2 so far. So this is the step 3 video where we're going to learn about how to add constraints. Make sure you're following along with the questions in step 4. So you should be able to get all of those questions done before the end of this video. So constraints. Much like when we did modeling, the constraints are really useful for putting things together in relation to each other. So saying like when we had the concentric constraints, like, oh, I want this circle to be concentric to this circle. Or the tangent constraints. I want this circle to be tangent to this line. Our constraints in assemblies are going to be pretty much the same. I mean, they're not the same as the sketch constraints, but they function very much the same way. They are putting something together, changing the relationship between two different parts or sub-assemblies that you have. Okay? So typically, in order to get something where it's like really solidly on a different part, you are going to need two constraints. Okay? Two constraints. Not like you're going to have to choose between one of them. I mean, most of the time, in order for something to be constrained, when they ask you to constrain it, especially on the exam, you're going to have to do two different constraints. Okay? And they're often going to be the same constraint. It's just in two different places. Okay? So we want to be able to put the end of this swivel on this boomstick here. So this is some kind of brace for something. I don't know. It holds something together. This is like some kind of clamp, and then this is like the swivel arm for it. So what we want to do is we need to rotate this piece. So what I'm going to actually do is use the free rotate tool. Now the free rotate tool will work on things that aren't grounded. So you see, like, I can't really rotate this guy because I've grounded it, but I can rotate this. So I'm going to grab the free rotate tool. And after I click this thing with the free rotate tool, I get this like reticle that comes up, and you're just going to have to mess around with it until you get it right. So I want this so it's basically like that. And then I can hit escape. And now I've got this kind of situated the way I want. It's going to make it a lot easier to click on the certain things that we need. So again, in order to rotate a part, you use that free rotate tool. You just want to make sure you can't really do it on grounded parts, only ungrounded parts. So that's good. So again, if you are following along from the last video, you'll know that we grounded this boom. But if you haven't, you right click it and then go to grounded. Okay. So now that we've got that, so you're going to add these constraints, and that is going to, I'll show you what it's going to do. So what we're going to do is to put these two ends together, we're going to have to do a couple different things. So I'm going to use the constraint button here. It's still in the assemble tab, so constrain. And now I've got a bunch of different types. So you'll see that there is mate, angle, tangent, insert, and symmetry. Basically what we're going to use for this is the mate constraint and the insert constraint. You will really not have to do the angle, the tangent, or symmetry. You can figure them out if you want, but they're not going to be used. We'll get into offsets, but not in this lesson. So now I'm going to go over here and I want to select the mate constraint. Okay, it's that first one. Okay. It's got this like red line, and it's got these two, and if you see, it's got this like line that these two pieces are kind of connecting to. That's what we're doing. Think about mating as we are sticking these two objects together on a plane, okay? It's usually not that they're being stuck together, and I'll show you what I mean here. So when I hover over this, you're gonna have to be careful. There's a couple different places that you can click. I just want it so that it's got this whole face selected. So mine is highlighting green, yours might highlight blue or red, but yeah, there's mine turned blue. Now I'm gonna need to rotate the part a little bit, this assembly. And I want this face to mate with this face right here. So this lower face right there. So I'm going to click that. And when you do that, there's like a nice satisfying little popping noise that happens. And then I'm going to hit apply to confirm my mate. Now, when I say that we need a second one, now you can just set this on here and it looks mostly right? Until you start rotating it, then you see that there's a problem. But, oh, we can't move that one. This has mated that face and that face to a plane. Imagine there's a plane coming right down here that is mating these two together. So these two are mated to that plane essentially, where you can't move this guy off of it and you can't move this gal off of it either. Now, it may look like I can, but I cannot. So even when I have like a weird angle, if it looks like you're able to come like down here and do stuff, if you look at it from the side, nothing's changed. It's still mated there. So now that we've mated it like that, now we need to mate them so that they are in the same plane going this way, okay? This would be the Z plane. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is go and grab another mate constraint. So constrain, mate. And this time, I want to have this little, so you can see there's like an axis, and this is an axis mate constraint. So that is the one I want because that is gonna keep it around this center point that's in the center of that swivel. So I'm gonna click that, and then I'm gonna do the same thing down here and wait until I can get the axis one, which there it is, and then I hit apply. And as you can see, now these guys are perfectly matched on there, okay? And there's no, I can rotate this because we told it has to be on this center line here, and it has to be on this plane. So really the only thing they can do is rotate. So now we've decreased the number of degrees of freedom that this part has based on what it's going to look like when it's put together. So when it's put together, this is going to be stuck together and this will be able to swivel back and forth, but nothing else. We don't want it to be able to move around because otherwise it's not going to help us. So adding constraints like this is going to decrease the number of degrees of freedom that you have. And like I said, those two that you're typically going to need, you need the one on the flat plane and then one on the insert, on the axis. Okay. So you can also use what we call the insert constraint. So I've moved this back. We've still got our first constraint on here. Now I can use what is called the insert constraint. The insert constraint is really for putting two things that are like, well, this is actually a good example of the insert constraint because this like outer lower face right here. So I've still got the axis selected and I want this axis here. And then, it's the same thing. The axis, the mate constraint and the insert constraint function very much the same way. Often you can usually get away with just using the mate constraint, but you may sometimes be asked to specifically use an insert constraint. So that is it. I know that there's not a lot of practice here. What you're going to do in the next step for this video is actually go through a whole exercise. It seems pretty involved, and it is pretty involved. But you are going to go through that. And there's another video there. I'm going to walk you through most of it. If you need it, I recommend you try it on your own first. See what you can do. And then check out the video if you get stuck. Cool? I'll see you over there.